back together as a group?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we practiced really hard, and we started with film that kind of festered for a week, which was difficult. But I think ultimately, we came out. The guys worked really hard.
How refreshed did they look? Maybe having fresh legs coming off that break.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do, and everybody else does too. So kind of what we talked about before. Like, there's no excuses for playing poorly at any time because everybody else going through the same schedule. And I think ultimately they did look like they had a little bounce for sure.
How much of a lift do you anticipate you guys will get having Marcus back and available and in the mix?
Hopefully it's a good lift. I mean, I would think so. He's been a real key part of our team for 4 years now, and so I think not only does he add what he adds, but he also knows what's going on to the nth degree because he's been here so long. Obviously, having him out at practice was good today, and that always raises the energy level when you add a new person into practice.
He was telling us about how there was a piece of glass that was between a couple of tendons, and it could have potentially ended his season. As a coaching staff, how scary was that reality of how close you came to losing for the year?
Yeah, I mean, it was, again, it was, and I'm sure he'd second this, it wasn't a very good move. You don't want to put yourself in that risk, but luckily nothing beyond what happened. But his hand looks a lot better, and that is obviously encouraging. You don't want anybody to pay any more than he did with regard to time missed and time away, and just he does want to play. He's a guy that really likes to play. He's a good teammate, and so I know how antsy he is. So that would have been even harder.
What prompted you to go to spring training during the All-Star break?
I have a 12-year-old. When I was a kid, I snuck in with my dad to the Padres Stadium and shagged balls that went into the stands. We had done that many a times throughout different trips that we had, and so it was more about taking Brady. We were there for a couple of days. My mom lives down there, and it was good. It was really fun to see those guys. They were excited to get going. It was great to spend time with their staff, get a chance to meet some people that I was look forward to learning from.
Did you tell him he's lucky he had to sneak in like you did and walk right in?
Who? Yeah. That's right. I think we literally snuck into one, but yeah, we were spoiled. We got the good treatment for sure.
You said down there you actually spoke to the team. What kind of was your message to them?
I guess first of all, I told them I am not qualified to speak to a baseball team. I mean, I got picked off the last play of my career in high school. So I think that my biggest message was that throughout the whole course of the season, remember the vibe and the feeling you have now, because I think that there are, we're coming off a 3-game losing streak, and all you want to do is get back to work and get back to playing. But nobody hasn't been a part of the rotation yet. Nobody's not gotten their at-bats. They haven't had a losing streak yet. All the things that goes with a long season, and that's one of the fun parts for me. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go over there on day one was kind of the freshness of it all. And that's their season's double ours. I mean, I can't even imagine how tough that is. Not only playing 162 games, but they play 30 spring training games. And Fort Myers is nice, but 192 games before the playoffs seems like a bit much. I don't know, but I'm not a baseball expert.
Who invited you to speak?
Alex just grabbed me as he was walking out of their meeting and asked me to, so it wasn't like I was well prepared.
You said you wanted to kind of reassess things over this break too and sit down. What did you kind of find or notice about the team that you had?
Yeah, I mean, I told the guys, anytime that you have come up short, you have to evaluate, you have to learn, and then you have to apply it. Our defense was not good the last 5 games, obviously. Whether that's a small sample size, whatever the case may be, it just wasn't good. And I thought against the Clippers especially, it was as bad as I've seen it. so that was a red flag, an alarm that we needed to talk about today and make sure that we understood. And then actually offensively, I've told you this, I feel like we've made a couple of good strides recently, and I just wanted to build off of those. I thought we played well in the Clippers game offensively for the most part, and it's too bad that we wasted a good night like that with that defensive game.
How much of a changer could Marcus be defensively, especially?
We just need everybody to play to their best ability. I mean, we had good games without him defensively, but there's no doubt he's one of our better defenders.
You got good on Shane?
Shane did not go through practice today. He did do a lot of different running and cutting and all the drills that they have him doing. I would say that he is going to try to go through parts of practice tomorrow. What that makes him for Friday, I don't know yet. I haven't talked to the training staff about projecting out the weekend.
Coach, I'm sure you heard about just some of that Source Illustrated story about the Dallas Mavericks, and as an organization, what are the conversations like among the front office, among coaching staff about just some of those issues that obviously are becoming more prevalent in today's sports world?
I mean, it's the same conversations that every company has with their HR. I mean, we're a business with a human resources, and we're expected to live up to a standard that you should be expected to live up to. And so, I think that certainly, like any place else, you always get the daily reminders. You always get the different training that goes along with that, and but our HR and Rich Gotham and the group downtown and certainly the group here, they do a really good job of that.
And Coach, when you first got here, obviously the wins didn't come as much as you like, but it seemed that there was a foundation of competitiveness that you were able to establish early on. Can you speak to what doing that early on does for an organization? Because this time of year there's a lot of talk about tanking and all that stuff, but you guys have been an example of if you just play a certain style of play, whether the wins come initially or not, it kind of sets the tone for how your organization goes forward.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing coming in, and it was that we needed to prepare today to be the best that we could be, and when we were 20 and 50 or whatever we were, we still did our shoot-arounds, walkthroughs, film prep, and everything else the exact same way, because you're preparing to be your best, and I think that that's really important, and and I think that players and coaches around the league, that's what they try to do, and so I think that ultimately, the path for me is the same as far as like if you're committed to growth and you're committed to getting better, whether you're on a team that's not as good or whether you're on a team that's fighting for a playoff spot or whether you're on a team that is fighting for a seed, it's all the same. I mean, how you should approach every day.
Did you give Alex any advice on coaching or managing in Boston?
I mean, he doesn't need any advice from me. I mean, he's obviously a really well-respected guy. He's a really positive guy. It was fun to listen to him talk. He's got a ton of great people around him. Hey, the one thing about it is we all draw a lot more attention than we should. We're coaching sports, and I think we all, I try my best to just keep that in perspective.
You had mentioned right before, but right after that game, I don't know if there's frustration, but you might have to make some changes. Is it possible you're going to see some changes?
We'll definitely rotate a little bit differently. I don't know if that means changes in the starting lineup, but we'll definitely have some rotations that will. Certainly there'll be night to night, but tweaks from when guys into the game, etc.